A special hello to all you blackbeards and scallywags out there. My name's Marty, welcome to McFly, and I don't really know where I'm gonna start with this one. I have some good things, I have some bad things. Let's just dive into it full head first. This is going to be Sea of the Division. It's been a long time coming. I can't even say I've been anticipating it because I'm just not really a huge pirate fan. I would probably have to do some Google searching to actually look up when they announced this thing, and I think it's all off the back of everybody just really enjoying Assassin's Creed Black Flag. Which, I mean, I'm in that boat. I think it's awesome, the naval fighting and just the whole being at sea. Just take the assassin stuff out, and I think that's what they're trying to go for here. But they said free beta and I had to hop in. Still leaving a lot to be desired, and I know this was just the beta, but this kind of seems to be the model now with games. They just give us the start, and then they expect us to hang on and wait for it to fully be fulfilled over a course of 2 to 4 years, let's say. Maybe even longer for some games. There are a few out there, but they do find their fan bases, what can I say?
In the first year of Skull and Bones, risk everything you have to your name and face off against merciless pirate lords.
Now for this one, I hope there's a lot of people out there that were dying to be a 17th century naval captain. Because if there's one gold star here, it's the naval fights, the sense of being out at open sea. Whether my fun was up or down the whole time, whenever I got into a naval fight, I could not help but be immersed in it.
Oh man, get him! That's all I got!
You are just in the thick of it. They did a really good job at showing critical points. You could definitely make the argument that there is something here. This really looks like it could be a good game at first glance. But then once you're about an hour or two into the gameplay, you start asking a few questions. And I know I hate to keep comparing this thing to Assassin's Creed Black Flag, but it kinda was the model. For me in Black Flag, one of the funnest parts was the boarding system, and in this game, it is just so arcadey, it's not even funny. You get a wonky little anchor, and you gotta try to attach. And I also remember the game having a pretty fun bashing mechanic, and I didn't see it here at all, unless I have to get a specific ship for it. So that's a missed opportunity if so. And the only plus side I could see to the anchor was my buddy Joe actually even noticed that you can actually rip off certain parts of boats and take them for yourself. I gotta admit that part is pretty cool. Oh, speak of the devil. Alright Joe, we're talking Skull and Bones, what do you got for me? Hot takes!
The ship steering is just bad. It needs to be all around tighter. It's so hard to steer, and then at some point you can control your pirate a little bit, move to a little cannon, or move over here, but you really have no third person or first person control on the ship. It's just the ship. What's the point of creating your character and designing him as a pirate and then almost never seeing that?
He even brings up an even bigger point. In this giant pirate game, all we can do is ship battle. There is no on-foot, boots-on-ground sword fighting, pirate gunfights, duels. I don't know what you want to call it. There is nothing. This pirate life is not the life for me.
Hell, you're Ubisoft. I think it would be really cool if they, the pirate fighting aspect of it was For Honor. They imported that combat, so you board each other's ships and then you legitimately have to fight and duel.
I was however able to find 2 pirate NPCs duking it out. Let's stay positive, maybe it's an Easter egg of what's to come. But if there's one takeaway, it's definitely being on your ship out at sea and in those battles. That is the gold star, the silver lining, no matter what. They nail it. Can't say I fully understood the stamina bars of how I'm shooting cannons and all that, but I gotta say the ship customization is spot on. Of course, I don't even know what you would do to a pirate ship, but I think they did a good job at spacing out where you put the cannons and kind of how you build your ship. You have to stick things in specific compartments, and then eventually, obviously, you can put cosmetics on it. That was really cool. Actually, that's a good segue. Let's move over to how it looks, because that's why I call it Sea of the Division. From what I see on other reception of people, it has a very Sea of Thieves feel. I've never played it myself, but I have played a lot of The Division, and especially once I linked up with my buddy Joe, man, it was just The Division all over again. We're just in boats. That's why I wanted to bring up cosmetics and how it looks and stuff. For me, a lot of it's character creator. and that can kind of give you a good jumping off point to how the game's gonna go. But it has a lot of swatches, and you have quite a bit of choice. The big glaring issue with it is you're supposed to create your character just from a reflection in a puddle. I don't know, you can't even see your body type, half the tattoos and markings you're putting on. That one missed me. I don't know why I guess it looks cool, it's good for presentation. And don't get me wrong, you can change it later. Like, you can get a good look at your body type and all that, but just why not in the beginning? Just a little nitpicky, but you know, what is YouTube for?
I'll do what I want, when I want, and how I want.
The only pirate I really truly know is like Jack Sparrow, Johnny Depp, so that was my goal for the character creator. There weren't many options to kind of go with it, surprisingly, but at the same time I'm not surprised. It's a live service game. I'm sure all the good stuff is going to be released in the future for paid money and unlockables. Hopefully stuff you'll be able to unlock during missions and stuff. But yeah, long story short, it did not look like Jack Sparrow. It actually ended up looking like Charlie.
I'm at the top of the food chain when it comes to analyzing asshole smells.
They show you the basics in your little dinghy, then you have to go get a spyglass, and then you're opened up into this larger expanded map. When I opened up the map for the first time, it was definitely screaming for me to explore it. I just didn't know where to start. And then the more I did try to explore, I realized how impatient of a person I am. Don't get me wrong, I love sailing my ship just as much as the next person, but once you've been from port to port, and then over here, and then chopping down some trees, sidebar, I do like how you collect resources. It is a fun little mini game to break up the monotony of it all. And I don't know what it is about chopping wood in a video game that just makes it 10 times more fun for me. Maybe because it's almost nostalgic at this point. I've chopped a lot of wood in a lot of different games. But I'm sorry. Port to port, tree to tree, resource to resource, alongside fighting against the wind, running out of stamina, trying to figure out which sail is what. Yeah, I just realized I'm extremely impatient for this kind of gameplay, and it's just not for me. Which I knew that from the start. I knew this is not my game. I was kind of hoping it would be, because I've been looking for some kind of game to hold my attention recently. Like, I mean, really hold it. Luckily, Helldivers came out like a week later. Oh shit.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. That's for another video. And then overall, just as time went on, I just found myself getting more and more bored with it, more impatient with the sailing, and eventually it was just getting to a point where like, hey, talk to this guy. Well, like I said, very Division. Talk to this person, go over here, go on this island, talk to this person, blah, blah, blah. Very fetchy. Obviously, it could open up because I just played the beta, but this was supposed to, you know, draw me in as a gamer, and it didn't, so I don't. It's gonna be a no. But a few last good points, I would say. I was starting to like it better once I looked at the fashion, because, like I said, I'm not a big pirate guy. But once I found out I could dress up like a hobo, basically, like a hobo pirate, I was down. I love this outfit. It kind of made me feel like a fantasy character. So it's kind of like they had something for everybody, except for my friend Joe. He just could not find the hat with the feather he wanted.
Yeah, I wanted like a Captain Hook hat. I wanted like stupid feathers coming out of it.
But it's really just the dead air stare that the character gives that really just takes it away from me. Every character, no matter how you did the character creation, just dead stare. No soul behind those eyes, trust me. What else? I did like the little mini game, like I said, when you're harvesting resources. It is a little nice fun thing to do real quick. And also a small little detail, I would say they definitely put a lot of work into this game. You can see it. I like when you go to these little hub areas and it just has little NPCs making the area look alive. That's a big thing for some games. So it's almost like a two-faced situation here. I can see that work has been put in, but then in other areas it looks rushed. It's a mix of the two.
I read an IGN article. They were forced by the Singapore government. They were forced to release the game in its state because Ubisoft Singapore, who made the game, was subsidized by the government. And I guess the government was tired of waiting for them and pretty much was like, you have to put the game out.
Alright, with the full picture, that makes so much more sense. That is so wild.
Hoist the colors high.
Oh, and it's not really, I guess it could be a good thing, I don't really know, but the one thing I do regret for not playing this game is what I see in the commercials is that there's possibly deep sea monsters, and that's really what gets me. I wish for like a deep sea diving game where I can see and be terrified of the ocean floor. Eventually I'd like to get to that. If I could just do that in the game, maybe I'd play some. But I'm not gonna pay $70 just to hopefully maybe have fun with that small portion of the game. But yeah, that's all I got for Skull and Bones. It was a nice beta. I always enjoy when companies give games for free to try out. I feel like after this long time coming, they kind of had to. At some point, people were wondering if this game was even going to happen or not. It's just been, I don't know. They just couldn't grab my attention enough, unfortunately. Nothing made me care about this game. To be honest, I could probably see myself playing this maybe on a heavy sale in a few years when it's more fleshed out. But thank you so much for watching, especially if you made it this far. This has been McFly pointing out something in gaming that he kind of liked, didn't like. I don't know, I'm gonna go play Helldivers. What would it take for you to buy it if you were to ever play it?
So I think the first thing is that the price tag needs to be dropped. That is not a $70 release. I don't care what you say. In its current state, $30 price tag, nothing higher. And that's if the game gets more expansive than what I've seen, because all I've seen is that everything for your pirate just appears to be cosmetic. There's no actual pirate fighting. It's all poorly operated ship fighting.